All right, before we even get started, before I even get any further, I can't see my microphone. There it is. Okay, Peter, say something, and somebody tell me. Can't. All right, hold on. Try now. Can anybody hear Peter? Peter, say something. Because if not, I'm going to go back to what we did last week until I can temporarily fix this. Chris says you can hear me. Relic says can't hear. No, Peter. All right. Screw that. We're going right to here. Yes, give me a second. I know it's echoing. It will stop echoing in just a second.
Peter's a mime. He always is a mime.
All right. Can't hear Peter. Now can you hear Peter? Say something, Peter.
Can you hear me now? Yes. No. Maybe.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome everyone
Right.
to the NLG show. It's another Tuesday night. So, look, Boom Boom Kaboom is in the house. Noof is here. He's doing his pre-show. I think Noof is going on in like 15 minutes. So you coming to say hi. We'll be checking in on him in his chat room, Gaming After Dark, a little later on. Go and say hi, see how they're doing over there. With our brother Cerebral Paul, who was actually on with Nick and I last night on Retro Roots. It was a lot of fun. What is going on, everybody? It is Tuesday night. We are back.
Tuesday night.
It's another.
Hopefully it'll be a rat-free episode.
No, I got the rats behind me.
Oh, dang it. See?
I got the lights on, so no rats. No rats coming for me.
No rats.
Oh. And he's sick, so he has no voice. So Chris is going to be hanging out in the chat. Yes, Chris is going to be hanging out in the chat, just hanging out with you guys and making sure everybody has a good time. And we have tonight, as always, he's not even a guest anymore. He's our good friend. He's our brother. Back from the Dead is here with us tonight. What's going on, brother Back?
Hey, I've been doing pretty good. Enjoying half my vacation so far.
Oh, that's right.
Spend time with the wife and kids, playing games. Been playing a lot of Destiny 2, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Me and my wife went through Disney Dreamlight Valley together the first time, where we just handed the controller back and forth, and then both of us missed parts of the story, so we wiped that first file and we did it separately now on each of our gamer tags. So we're looking forward to tomorrow. They're bringing an update that will add Scar, continue the base story, and add some other things in the games, as well as a more Halloween cosmetics and new season pass. That should be a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
Very cool. I know you are huge on Destiny 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, today just started the Festival of Lost Halloween event.
I have no idea what you just said. Very cool. So, are you still playing with Cog and the Iron Lord team?
Yep, I'm one of the admins in the Iron Lords podcast, and had a lot of new people join recently. Getting a lot of people through raids and other dungeons and other content in the game. Everybody's having a fun time playing with each other. Occasionally, I'll get to play with Lord Cognito, but he's got such a busy schedule. We only get to talk every couple of weeks.
He is busy.
Nice.
He is very busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now I think he's over in Ireland for a while.
That's where he is. I was wondering where he said he was going overseas, and I thought that was the Irish flag that he had in his Twitter feed.
He's trying to catch a leprechaun. I don't know. He's chasing a pot of gold.
Hey. Before the chat gets too crazy, I mean, I know 20 people in here already before we got started. Thank you guys for waiting with us. Brother Relic's here. Brother Distracted, brother Cousin Born is here. Sister Zelda's with us. Brother Doggy is here. Brother Bryant is here. Brother Rich pulled up. Just keep going down. Driz, Brother Driz is here. Brother Driz was one of the first people commenting on our Amico unboxing video, man. He was right in there, and the first thing he said was, we gotta stream some Fall Guys, which I agree with. We gotta do some we gotta get another Fall Guys night going, and we need to get Driz on the night, because that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. A lot of craziness.
Nah, a lot of craziness. Sister Ventress is here. Brian says OBS beat Myke into submission. Not tonight, baby. Not tonight. Graphic God, Brother Jay's in the house. Jay, who just got finished with the Retro Renegades, who's on right before us, 7 o'clock on Tuesday nights. One of the funnest shows on Tuesday nights, bar none. And yes, it is a nice shirt, isn't it, Jay? So Chris is here. Of course, Chris is going to lock down the chat tonight because he's not feeling well. Myke Hawkhurts is here. He says, hi, amigos. What's going on? And I said, Brother Noof is getting ready for Gaming After Dark coming up in just a few minutes. So thank you for stopping in, Brother Noof. We will be popping in the chat a little later on to say hi.
Now get to the chopper.
We get to the chat.
Sorry, that was
Oh, I almost had it there. We got to the chat. That's not as good as Noof. Not as good as Noof. But Cameron, Brother Cameron is here. Cameron Hayes is here. So he said hi to Briz. Brother Big Block is here. Nephew Mega Mike, my nephew, he is here. I said Sister Ventures. I said hi to her. And of course, Brother Nick, my Retro Roots brother. And by the way, just a shout out to Nick, man. The GeekStorian channel, he has got some great Halloween video game videos up that are they're really good. If you guys haven't seen what Nick does with his videos, he's the reason I don't put videos up, because I half-ass mine, so he does not. No, please go check out Nick's channel. Totodope's here, Brother Totodope. What's going on, man? So, and
I hope I welcomed everybody in the chat. If I left somebody out, raise your hand.
And the man, he's in the game. He's in the podcast. He is the one who beats all the games that I don't want to. Brother Peter is here. What's up, Brother Peter?
What's going on? Well, quick shout out to Axel. 124 Gaming. He's a member for 17 months. He says, "What's up, guys? Have I missed the first topic?"
No.
Yes, you have. That was the Welcome Gamers. Well, what's missing?
Well,
we're still in the first topic, the Welcome Gamers stuff.
Yeah, we'll be on that for another hour.
Yeah, probably.
Hasslehoff is here. Brother Hasslehoff in the house. Can you guys tell him in a good mood?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
it's almost like you've been playing something new.
Maybe. You can tell him in a little bit of a good mood.
Just a little bit.
No.
OBS is working. That's one battle done.
Well, yes. The fact that we're not spending 25 minutes trying to figure out what's wrong with OBS. So, Peter, how are you doing, man? How was your weekend?
Good. The weekend seemed like so long ago, but I finished Scorn. I don't know. Back, did you get to play Scorn?
No, I haven't tried it out yet. I heard some people talk about it and watched it on streams. It looks interesting. Not exactly what I expected. I thought it would have been more of an action.
I still don't 100% know what's going on, but
oh yeah, I thought it was going to be more of an action game, but I guess it's a completely puzzle-based game.
It does look puzzle-based, and
Is it
tiny bit of combat that you can avoid quite a bit of it, and it's all right.
All right. I mean, you made your way through it, Peter. So
I made my way through it. Yes. At first, I thought it was like, we're fighting cholesterol or something, trying to clean the tooth. No idea what was going on. But yeah, that was, definitely something.
I did download Plague's Tale. I know, Peter, you've raving about it. And of course,
I started playing that. I went all the way to New Zealand last night, and was able to get a head start.
Not jet lagged coming back here at all.
No, it was so quick that didn't have time to set in. So, but yeah, it's a gorgeous game.
And back, I know you started it, right? Because that's your background there, but right?
Yeah, that's about 30 minutes into the game, I think. I played a couple hours of it. Plays just as well as the first one. Looks a little bit better, and they continue the story right after the first one. And I enjoyed the first game a lot. I beat that a while ago, and look forward to seeing where the story goes in the second game.
I really liked the first game.
First game was really good. Also, it's always nice when you play a new IP. It's always like the second one. It's like you kind of know the rats and kind of know how to steer them and stuff.
A lot of the mechanics are very similar.
Yeah.
Well,
so now it's more like the story itself, where you can really invest and see what's.
Well, I'll tell you who turned me on to Plague Tale was Niall. Niall played through it. He really liked it. He kept telling me, Myke, you got to play Plague Tale. You got to play Plague Tale. And I did. And Focus Entertainment, man, they built. Well, it was Focus. It was actually Asobo, but Focus published it. So Asobo put together a great game. So, quick shout out. We got. So I did say hi to brother. You said hi to brother Axel, but brother Invader from TXR is here, and brother Jose from who hangs out with us in like Amico Forever and Retro Roots and stuff. What's going on, brother? Nice. It's good to see you. Asobo has done a fantastic job with the first one, and I'm looking forward to this second one. I really am. I'm really looking forward to diving in. I'm going to dive into it tomorrow. Tonight was Scouts, so it's hard to do things on Tuesdays, but I'm looking forward to getting started on it. I was unsure about Scorn, so I might put that on the back burner until afterwards.
Yeah, it's definitely rated high in the sense of not rated PG.
Just a little bit of blood gore in that one.
Say again?
Just a little bit of blood and gore in that game.
Yeah, and very sexual kind of things going on.
What, in Scorn?
Yes. Towards the end, it's like, oh my goodness.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like if you're on a dairy farm, it's almost like that, but then different.
Brother Luke's in the house. No.
I was surprised, but
Oh, what's up, brother Luke? All right. So what?
But going back quickly to
Yeah.
back to Plague Tale, it's big thing going on the internet. It's about 30 frames per second.
So we're gonna talk about frame rate and whatnot tonight, because I know I didn't have enough room for all the things that we were probably gonna talk about. So I'll probably be changing. Like, I wanted to give a little bit on the Amico testing, but I'm not gonna spend like a ton of time on that. So probably once I'm done with that and we're on the Activision Blizzard, I'm gonna change that topic so I can pull something else here. I want to talk about that tonight because holy crap, people can't. The internet is a strange place, just a strange place. So, all right. So back, what have you been playing besides Plague Tale?
A little bit of Destiny 2, Destiny Dreamlight Valley. It's been most of it. I played some of the Lego games with my kids in the last couple days. But yeah, not too much else.
Okay.
How about Myke? Yours will be interesting. I played Beep and Beep.
Well, okay. So, I did also get a little more. I have a fascination now with the original NES Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now that I am playing it on the TMNT Cowabunga collection, I have a fascination with it. I'm not 100% sure I like it, but it's different. I'll just say that. It's not what I thought it would be. And I'm okay with that, but it's just so far away from, the TMNT arcade games and the Turtles in Time and Hyperstone Heist and all that stuff that it's been kind of tough to get into. If that makes sense. But I'm very focused on it. I'm very focused on getting through. And of course, I'm going to be doing it with save states, so because that's just me. I'm old. I'm too old for these no death runs like I see my friend Mazen and Omega and guys do. So.
Oh, another game that you should check out is Forza Horizon 5, the 10-year anniversary content.
Oh, you keep telling me about that. I've got to get that. No. I've got to get in. I've got to get how much longer is that content up for?
I don't know if it's timed or not. I don't know. No idea.
Is that part of the DLC, or is that just something they?
No, it's just part of the main game.
Okay.
So they have a story about that, and you get that car delivery of one of those cars, and that's fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, Forza Horizon 5 is. I don't know why we don't play that more multiplayer. I like it. I like it sometimes for just driving around and messing around and doing. I think I probably like doing the expeditions more than I like doing the races.
Yeah.
That's another one we need to work through. Because I'm happy to always play that one. So.
Yeah, I've been playing it lately before that content. It's fun to just dive in and race around a little bit and tear up the fields, and fun.
It is. I think it is. Oh. All right. So I think I've got everybody caught up on things. So yes. So Jose is talking about the Atari 50th collection in 50th anniversary collection in the chat. I saw some of the games that they're getting. Like Ninja Golf is coming on that collection, and some other, and then some good Jaguar games are coming. The emulate, and we talked to Myke a couple weeks ago here. He was on the show with us, and he talked about, he couldn't talk about the games that were coming on it just yet, but they're starting to trickle out, some of the games that are in that collection, and I'm telling you, I cannot wait. And the more I look at it, the more I am continually dead set on getting it on the VCS, because that classic controller with the spin stick in the middle is gonna be good. Oh, Relic said he played Cybermorph. Where did you learn to fly? Yeah, I'm definitely
another game I jumped into was Grounded. Now that's out of early access.
We talked about that too.
Played that for about an hour, and I'd have to get much further to see all of what they added in there. But getting into that a little bit more.
I want to play Ground. I played it during the during the early access. I thought it was decent, but I think that's a game that begs to be played multiplayer, like co-op.
Yeah, I think it makes it a little easier for resource gathering and stuff for building stuff.
Oh, Infinite's here. Other Infinite's in the house. What's going on, RR? Good to see you.
Topic number
as
3.
Well.
Just
topic number 3. More Activision. Oh.
And there you go, Fastback.
Yeah. You know what's happening. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
We're not even talking about Amico. The heck?
It's okay. You know, I'm just gonna say this, and then I'll talk about it. Let me look into the camera for a second. Hey, folks. You can't bully me. You are not. Somebody sent me. So somebody actually sent me an email today. This is how bad it's getting. Is they're email threatening me now, and it's hilarious because these are not serious people, and it's but it's not. I'm almost 50 years old. If anybody thinks they're gonna bully me from over the internet, yeah, no. Sorry, guys.
You were there before the internet.
Exactly. You say that, but I kind of was. Because I was doing BBSs and WWIVnet before the internet came out. So that's not
You
far
were
from
there
the
before it was BBS.
That's not far from the truth.
Yeah.
No.
What was there before dial-up?
For dial-up?
Pigeons.
Hey, I
Ham
had
radio.
on my Atari 800 computer, I had the War Games. It was a 300 baud modem, an acoustic modem, and you dialed the number and you put the phone on the modem just like in the movie. I had that modem.
Those were the days.
There you go. Nick said we had cans on strings and we liked it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so now that I got that disclaimer out of the way, I really honestly don't care how much content. I mean, people are making videos and people are sending their minions into the, and emailing me and all this stuff over a video game console. And that's fine. Now I know how guys like Colt Eastwood feel with the PlayStation crazies.
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. Period. So, with that, Peter.
Topic number. I guess technically is it 2 or 1? Whatever. Amico testing.
All right. So, I have been talking over last couple days to the team over at Intellivision, giving them feedback, all kinds of stuff, and I've gotten some questions. We put up an unboxing video on Sunday that has gotten some very, very good response. It is. I thank everybody who's had a chance to watch it. If you haven't, it's on the channel. It gives you a chance to kind of see the outer box, the what it comes with. And actually, I should walk over and get the box. I could probably show that, but I might save that for later because I have had people ask, well, Seth had it on his lap. You kind of held it up a little bit, but can you show it a little closer, right? So I can show you now. Here's what I can't do. And I'm going to explain, because if you're watching content and you're seeing people, and they're out there, because people, it's funny, I don't go looking for it because I honestly don't care. And I say those things, and I know Nick gets mad at me, but I really honestly don't. But people just feed this to me. Hey, Mike, just thought you should know, here's a link. And I'm like, yeah, okay. It's expected. But, I have gotten some, legitimate questions, in our unboxing videos, some things, that people wanted to know. There are things I can say. There are things I cannot say. For example, and I will answer the question. Nupture, all right. He said, "What games came on it? What games came loaded on your Amico?" Can't tell you that. I can tell you I'm playing games. I can't tell you what I'm playing right now. Will that change in the future? I don't know. But I can't tell you that. I also, I can't show any gameplay or anything at the moment. What I can do is talk a little bit more about a couple of things that we've tested and what works. So let me see. Let me do this. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here, and I'm gonna let me add you guys this audio input capture so that you guys can talk as well. All right. All right, Peter, say something real quick.
I'm saying something real quick.
Peter, did I lose you?
Can you hear me?
I can hear him.
Oh no, now you can't hear them at all. All right. So all right. I don't know what the hell. I don't get it. But okay. So here it is, guys. the graphite black.
Oh.
This is a
Hey, you're not wearing white
pre-production
gloves.
pilot
Wow.
unit. People have been out there saying this is a development kit. It's development hardware. It's from last year. It's blah, blah, the one that we played at Crayola. No, it's not. I'll show it again. This is a pre-production pilot unit with the final hardware in it. So this is the last step in what this is before it goes to manufacturing.
So you worked out a lot, right? So you're
uh,
pretty strong. Do you
You
think
know,
I can
it's
lift it?
that's it. It's got the light. It's got the LED lights on it, right? It's got the LED lights on it. It's got. Now this could be hard to see because it's the black unit. I'm gonna try to shine the light down as best I can, but it has. Sorry guys, it's just hard to see. It's got the ports on it. So it's got the HDMI. It's got the USB-C. It's got the power, and it's got a micro SD. All right. So, can you make it orange like a Halloween pumpkin? You know, I will say that the lights work. I can't say yet how they work. I could just say that they do. Here is the controller in its final form. At some point, I will ask them if they'll let me turn it on and show you the screen. I can't. What I can tell you is that the screen is every bit as cool as it was. If you go back to our channel and you look at our Amico Fest 2021 coverage, and all that, the controller works exactly the same. The disc has lights around it. The buttons have lights. These are LED lights that light up those 4 little slots that you see there. It's got the USB C charger there, and just like the old controller, they didn't do anything with the size or anything. So as I put it in my hand, it fits really nicely. It's got the notch. It's got the notch there that you set the controller down in, and it fits in there quite nicely. So that's the system. Something else that I'm allowed to point out. How you doing, Radical Gamer Guy? Yes, they did, but they announced that a year ago. So one other thing that I am allowed to say, because I tested it and I said, guys, I need to be able to tell people about this, and they said, okay, this you can say. And I preface this by saying, I'm not saying I've played this game, because I cannot say what I have and have not played. But I just grabbed one of my 8 boxes off the shelf, and so if I grabbed it because the RFID scanner, which is right here in the middle, see that little RFID thing there, is functional. So if there is a game that is on here that you have downloaded and you take, so this it's a neat feature. It's not practical for me necessarily, but it's kind of a neat feature. Of course, if you put the card on there and you let it sit for a couple seconds, it will download the game. Go to the store, go to the game for you to download. If not, if the game is already downloaded on there and you put the card on there, it'll go and it'll move the cursor over to the launch, and it'll put it into launch mode, into the game launcher for you. So again, it's not a fairly practical thing, but it does work. But the downloading does work. I can also say I have tested downloading games from the store, and the store is functional. So I know that was something that I wanted to know. You know, as I'm running through the things I wanted to see on this, that was one of the first things I asked. And so I can tell you that the store is functional. Some of you guys are asking questions that have nothing to do with me. I don't really know about Night Stalker and Cloudy Mountain. Don't really care. Night Stalker and Cloudy Mountain is not something that You know, it's so the what else can I tell you so store works, the RFID scanner works. Hey, Hooligan says, I know you're under NDA and all, but it might breach it, but is it fun? Damn, can I say that?
Are you
Let me
looking
put it
forward
this
to do
way.
more testing?
I'm having a good time with it. And equally as important, if not more, two of my three kids, my oldest has been working and stuff. He hasn't had a chance to play it yet. Him and I are going to get in some time on it tomorrow, so I get his feelings on it. But Seth, who you guys all saw in the unboxing video, and my 8-year-old Spencer, they have been playing this to because what I need from them is, all right, how do the controllers work for you guys? Are you able to orient it? Because you can change the orientation. You can play it upright like I did with Astro Smash, which you can see clearly in videos from past. So I'm not saying anything new. How do they work with it? How does it feature for them? It's fun for them. It's been fun for me, and it's good. It's a good experience for exactly what I'm expecting it to be. And I'm continuing to go through the process. There's a few more things on the checklist that I need to do for them. And again, let me come back here. I cannot, unfortunately, I can't put any videos up. I can't do anything like that because, but these are the things that that I have been allowed to tell you guys. The good news is we're getting closer, right? And for those who are interested in this system, who are truly interested in the system, it's a step forward. It's not a development kit, it's not a development kit. And so, you guys can keep coming because you're not gonna, Peter, this is what I have to deal with. This is the nonsense I have to deal with. Why can't I hear you now? Hang on a second. All of a sudden, I can't.
I've been telling a bunch of good stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. I can hear you
guys. Hang on, let me do this. OBS really just absolutely sucks. Say something.
I'm saying something.
Damn it,
can
I
you
can't.
hear me?
I think they can hear you, but I can't. Yeah, there you go, Chris. More views. All right, try now.
I'm trying. Can you hear me?
Hang on.
How about now? Repeater.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I'm going to spend some serious time by OBS or with OBS trying to figure this out, or I am going to go back to an older version of OBS. So, Nick, you are 100% weapons free, man. You will not overban because people here. Look, the people that are here, they're asking legitimate questions that whether I can or can't answer. They're cool. Some of these other folks, you blast them. Apparently, nobody understands the no tolerance concept of NLG. Again, I know it's not a lot. Luke said, my complaint on the box, that seems to be a lot of cardboard for what's there. I kind of agree with that. And I think I said it in my unboxing video. It's not that I don't like the box. It's a neat box. But Peter, you and Back, you guys both have Series X's. Our Series X was packed tight. I mean, there was little space in there. And
yeah,
that was
yeah, it also came in the nice dense foam packaging, and they kind of had it angled.
yeah.
And even had the I'm not sure what to call that kind of plastic or whatever they wrapped it in that looked really cool in designer. So yeah, there was a lot of nice finishing touches in that opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jose, is that the same unit? No. How ergonomic is the controller? Actually, I can do that again. So it's not. If I put it up, this is my Note 9. It's not that much different than my Note. I mean, the Note 9 is a little bigger. Ergonomically, the cool thing about this, which is such a difference over the original Xbox control, the original Intellivision controller, is although I like the vertical, I used to get what was called Intellivision claw, trying to press those buttons in the middle where they were spaced. This, if you want to hold it like a Genesis controller, Super NES controller, it just, for me, my hands just fit right on the buttons. It's got an indent in the back that allows you to just kind of rest your hand in. It's really nice. I find it's a good feeling controller. So,
can you talk about how responsive the touchscreen is?
Yes, actually I can. The touchscreen is very responsive. In fact, somebody did ask in the comments section about the there's always been this reported controller lag, which I didn't necessarily see it last year at Crayola, but in every game that I've played, including games that other people have played and I didn't, I haven't felt any. Everything is very responsive. You press and it goes. And what's interesting is that the touchscreen becomes a button for a set of games. So I've had that experience, and it's as responsive as any other button press. It's not tactile, of course, because you're touching a screen, but it works great. It works great. I don't know where these were manufactured, and honestly, again, I'm not saying no, it wasn't directed at you, hooligan. A Radical Gamer Guy, I don't mean this how it's going to sound, because I'm not pointing this at you specifically, but I don't care where it was manufactured. I really honestly don't. If this was on the line, great. I'm very sure, I could say this, I'm very sure that they're not in their offices or working from home or wherever they're working, soldering chips to PCB. I'd have to be, I'm old enough and smart enough to know that they likely got the innards manufactured, whoever is going to actually manufacture the thing. That much I'm sure. Whether they put the plastic case on it themselves, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't. It doesn't bother me. Touchscreen is a button. I don't know if I can get used to that, honestly. It is a different feel, and I will say that. It's a different feel, but so far I'm okay with it. I'm curious as to where they go with it. There are some. What I can say from what I've seen is the controller, the touchscreen does some neat things. It's a full 320 by 240 color touchscreen. I mean, it does some neat things. But I can understand, a lot of us are used to tactile buttons, and
Mm-hmm.
I get that, totally get that. But I'm enjoying it. Has the plastic feel? What's the quality? Plastic feels good. I mean, look, this does not feel like my Series X. It doesn't. I mean, come on.
So it's smooth plastic, and it's not like it has a grip feel to it.
Yeah, it's not my Series X by any. Is the touchscreen as responsive as a phone screen? Definitely, most definitely. But the controller, I tell you what, the controller's got some heft to it. It's got some heft to it. It's definitely, you could definitely tell, and I mean, of course, it's got a touchscreen on it. So, tastes like licorice. Tastes like licorice, Maggie. Look who's here, brother. Brother Boom's in the house. Boomstick's here. What's going on, brother Boom? No. See if anything else that I can answer. Saw somewhere there was a suction cup screen button somewhere. I think that they were talking about that as something you could use on a phone controller, but I haven't seen anything new about that. So that's what I can say for now. And look, as I'm going through stuff, and if I'm allowed to say more, I very much will. You guys, look, as much as anything else, yes, I'm testing it, but also I'm a media guy, so obviously I want to. It's a Jägermeister edition. Is it? I've done this before. I've said that in the unboxing video. If everybody who knows me knows that I was a game journalist, knows I had a website, knows that I went to E3, knows that that's my debug Xbox that's sitting over there, that I still have, that Microsoft's never asked for back, that sits in my collection. I've done this before. So
as a knock, Phil Spencer. Hit me today.
Right. I'm going to get a phone call. Excuse me, you have an Xbox we're never going to use again.
No, they want it for the museum.
They can come get it because it's in my museum right now. So, and so I have, one of the reasons that I'm testing this is because I can, because I know what I'm looking for. I know, but again, Radical Gamer Guy, I don't care how it looks. I really don't, because I know what I can do. And again, I'm not saying that at you. I'm just saying, and I know you're not trying to be mean. I don't care how it looks to the people who don't have any real interest in this other than to tear it down. Because if I'm testing this, right, and let's say, so take this to its conclusion. We talked about this on Amico Forever last week. I'm someone who's interested in it. So it's in my best interest. I think there are, but they're not the ones who are lodging these weird complaints. Just critics are one thing, and trust me, he's talking about Peter, Chris, and I have gotten into arguments about the criticisms I lob at Phil Spencer and Xbox for the stuff that they've done. But it's you want, like it's in my best interest to make sure I'm looking at everything I can and telling them what I think could be better, what I think I like, what I think I don't like, because in the end, I bought one of these too. Like, that's not my final unit. Mine's a wood grain. Mine's a wood grain Founders. Peter's got a Founders. Back, which one did you order?
I ordered the Galaxy Purple because that's my wife's favorite color.
Right. So, Chris has a Founders. There's multiple people in the chat who have pre-ordered this thing. It's it's the it's in my best interest because I don't want Peter mad at me. This thing's
No,
broken.
because if I find something,
Right.
it's like, Myke, never.
Right. How could you, Myke? No. And no, Hooligan, I'm not sending DJC mine. He's getting a separate one. So we will have them at the same time. I know that's something else that was flying out there. No. And look, Radical Gamer Guy, it's okay. Don't have to be don't have to be sorry, because I get it. And you have to understand, I've been around a long time with video gaming, just like Peter and just like BAC, but I've done this E3 thing. I've had my hands on the ill-fated and the good, right? I've had my hands on the Xbox 360. I've had my hands on the Gizmondo. You guys probably, if I said Infinium Labs Phantom console, you probably wouldn't have a clue what I'm talking about. But I do. So,
Unless you've watched the show.
Well, unless you watch the show. So, Hey, Pete, what's going on, man? EverCanadian.
EverCanadian.
Spanky, if DJC gets a wood grain, I am going to fly to his house, and I'm going to swap in the middle of the night. He better not get the wood grain. He better not get a wood grain pilot unit. So I might have to make a couple phone calls. Anyway, so that's what's going on there. Thank you guys.
Can you apply your own veneer?
Yeah, but then if I then when I have to send it back, then they're gonna go, "What did you do to this thing?"
Can you bedazzle it? Is that still a thing?
Dazzle it. Oh my God!
Imagine sending it back to what the heck did Myke do?
My goodness.
Yeah, if I got it, be sent back with a bunch of Cars, Spider-Man, and Disney Princess stickers.
Why won't they return my phone calls? They keep trying. All right. So that's that. More as I'm allowed. And there we go. All right. Where do you guys want to go next? So we could talk about this ever unfolding bizarre Activision Blizzard. We could talk about Gotham Knights and that debacle. Where do you guys want to go?
Where are you going to go, back? You're the guest.
You're the guest, Back.
Let's do Activision Blizzard, because I think there's
all right
more interesting things with Gotham Knights and Games of Fall, so get the worst one over.
Get the worst one over. I don't know, man. This is I have seen a lot of acquisitions.
Hmm.
And don't think I have yet to see anything like this. Thanks, Brother Boom. I got to get with you, Brother Boom, because we got to get you I got to figure out Tuesday night to get you on. I know that you have some stuff going on, and I was going to kind of wait until things settled down for you. And then once that happens, we want to get you on, and get hooked up. So hey, Brother Bav, Mav, you missed the Amico segment. We're on the Activision Blizzard. It's almost like you got the bat signal. They're gonna talk about Xbox.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can find what I was looking for. So this whole CMA thing, right? All right. So now we got Microsoft finally firing back even a little harder, because they're starting to get some scuttlebutt that the UK really could put the kibosh on this stupid deal, And number one, I don't think I can figure out why. And I don't know if they're just in this for their own. I don't know if they're in this for their to look like the good guy, to look like they're or to look important, to look like they're the guys who stood up to Microsoft. But Microsoft has decided to I think they decided they had enough. And I'm trying to find, there's been some stuff that's been floating around the internet today.
They're probably getting frustrated with just dealing with dumb shit, you know? It's like, if it's legitimate stuff, it's like, okay, you know?
Well, right.
But if it's like, yeah.
I mean, by the time the Xbox account is putting out memes, check your candy with little notes saying PlayStation's better.
Well, I think it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
You know. I'm trying to find. So there was some documentation that went around today. And yeah, so. Oh, so Jose said something while I'm looking for this. Right? Yeah. I'm looking for that response. Tom Warren can usually find this stuff pretty good. No. Let me get to Tom here, because Tom usually has the tip on this stuff. So, yeah, here we go. So oh, hang on. Yeah, I got you. Here you go. There you go, brother Pete. That way I can concentrate on what I'm doing here, because it's just not. These people are not going to. Guys, keep trying. It's not going to work. Okay, so Sony has claimed, or Microsoft has claimed, Sony pays for blocking rights to stop developers from adding their content to Game Pass. That came out today as part of some of the documentation that's been coming out during some of the filings here. And I'm trying to pull up this Word doc real quick, because this is interesting stuff. Hey, what's up, the Blue? Yep, Microsoft. So we're going to talk about that too, Jose. So this is in Spanish. Let me see if I can.
Let's see. I stopped looking because I thought you found it.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Microsoft's full. Here it is. I got it. All right. Let me pull this up. Okay. Yeah. It's going to be a little difficult to read, so I'll go through some of the highlights. So this is Microsoft's response to the CMA's decision to refer Microsoft's proposed acquisition to a Phase 2 review. These unsupported theories of harm are not sufficient to justify a reference to Phase 2. Microsoft is confident that following an in-depth review, the CMA will conclude that there is no prospect that the transaction will give rise to a substantial lessening of competition in any market based on Phase 2's higher balance of probabilities threshold. And now they go through some summary points here. Hey, what's up, brother? Brother 4GQTV, brother Carlo is in the house. Gamers United Guild. The CMA's theories of harm relate to one overarching concern that Sony cried to them. I'm sorry, that Activision Blizzard's game catalog, in particular the Call of Duty franchise, will enable Xbox to foreclose its competitors in gaming markets. I love this. This concern is misplaced. The referral decision fails to recognize the incredible array of popular and diverse gaming content that is available to market participants and overstates the importance of Activision Blizzard's content to competition in gaming. Xbox plans to make the Call of Duty franchise available to more gamers in more ways than would have been the case in the counterfactual. While this increased competition will benefit gamers, it has not been welcomed by the market leader Sony. That's a good one. In theory of harm, the CMA adopts Sony's complaints without the appropriate level of critical review. Indeed, industry commentators have noted that the referral's decision is, quote, written like they want to protect Sony's #1 position in gaming while claiming there isn't much competition to Call of Duty. Question mark, exclamation point. They're even bringing up what the media is saying about this, which is hilarious. So, so what do you guys, so this tells me, this part tells me that this is the precursor to them saying Sony was keeping Call of Duty off of Game Pass, which arguably would be available to more gamers in more ways because of PC and mobile. What say you boys?
I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise because I assume we've seen contracts from some of the Resident Evil games as well as other games that have that dialogue written into the contract where they can't put it on Game Pass. And at this point, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I understand why Sony's paying for that exclusivity, but at the same point, you're coming after Microsoft for worrying, even after they said it won't be exclusive, that they're going to make it exclusive in the future. So what are you worried about? Are you really worried that Microsoft's going to do the same exact stuff you're already doing? Because a lot of what we've been seeing lately, and at this point, it just shows how much Sony hasn't invested into the first-person shooter genre or a variety of other genres at this point that Microsoft's been investing more in creating variety on their platform.
Yeah, Sony, it seems like they play Monopoly and they don't invest in buying houses and hotels, and they just keep going past go and collect that money, you know? Eventually, that's not a very good strategy. You run out.
Well, it's paid off for quite a while, but
Yeah.
like you said, starting to wear thin, and people want variety at this point.
Well, and that's where I think it's Microsoft is. I think they're wearing thin. So that's where they're starting. I mean, this is about as plain a. I think this is really. I think this is really strong language.
There's some other language in there that said, like, hey, you mentioned Sony or PlayStation, I forgot which one, like, I don't know how many times it was. Say 40 times, and consumer only 10 times, which is interesting too. It's like, you're supposed to look out for the consumer.
Yeah.
And that should include any consumer. Xbox consumers, you know, mobile consumers. Not just PlayStation consumers.
Exactly. But just the wording on this, while this increased competition would benefit gamers, it has not been welcomed by the market leader Sony.
Yeah.
So then they go on to go over the CMA's concerns being misplaced. Sony PlayStation has the largest console platform for over 20 years with an install base of over 150 million consoles, making it larger than Nintendo, more than double the size of Xbox. Sony engages in conduct today which is reflective of its market power in console gaming. including increasing prices of its consoles without fear of losing market share. The suggestion.
Well, and then they come out with their Elite controller or equivalent. That's also like very pricey.
It's $20 more than the Xbox Elite controller, but at the same point,
Elite 2 like $180.
Yeah, the Elite is $180, and what is it? The DualSense Edge? That's what PlayStation is calling theirs.
Yeah,
is
$199.
$200.
Yeah,
but at the same point, Xbox just released the Elite Core 2 that comes with just the controller that you can adjust the tension to the thumbsticks and the hair triggers on it. Where that's priced at $130. So where your competitor just brought out a more expensive like controller geared towards the hardcore, you just brought out the cheaper option that's $70 less.
yeah, yeah. What else we got here? The suggestion that the incumbent market leader with clear and enduring market power could be foreclosed by the third largest provider as a result of losing access to one title is not credible. There are more than 4,000 games available on PlayStation alone. That one is a great one right there. See, I don't want to. I realize that you know this is where I start getting called an Xbot. So where are all the PlayStation guys throwing bots into our chat? Come on, bring it. I think this is what we were saying before, Peter, was, you know, you're telling me one game's gonna bankrupt Sony, right?
Yeah, that's a poor strategy.
Right.
I mean, it's sad. It is. The end is near.
It's sad that Microsoft's the one that had to say what Sony should have said from the beginning. Big block Xbox is bad for you. I just think that's hilarious. But let me ask you guys this. We've had this, you know, Microsoft has said over and over and over, we're gonna keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for the future, for the foreseeable future, whatever the deal was. I feel like, and this is just gut feeling by the wording that they're starting to use, is that was before Sony went crying to the CMA. And I have a feeling that it just feels like maybe Phil and Satya sat down and Satya said, "What do you want to do?" And Phil said, "You know what? Screw him." And Satya said, "Okay." I'm just saying, I feel like saying this is telling me that deal isn't what it's going to be anymore. That once that contract's up, maybe you shouldn't have opened your mouth, Jim. Do you guys get that same sense?
It's definitely possible. I mean, because I can see it both ways, where you want to keep it on as many platforms as possible, because with crossplay and more players in the pool for multiplayer, it's a better experience in that sense as far as matchmaking times and more variation in skill levels for players. But at the same point,
and Warzone is free to play, so you need as big a pool as you can get.
Oh yeah.
So you get the microtransactions and stuff.
But at the same point, if you're getting yanked on your chain enough to where they're pushing you to, why should we deal with you if you're just gonna keep saying, well, they're not gonna do it anyways. They're not gonna do it anyways. Okay, why? Then we don't.
Right.
I mean, you're almost just pre-prophesying exactly what they're going to do, where you're pushing them to the point where if they can't make a deal good enough that, say, Sony wanted, there will be a certain point where it's like, well, we're just not going to waste the money to keep trying to make you happy. At the end of the day, it's their business. If they can't find a way to work together, they're just not going to.
Right.
Quick shout out to a brother, SuPRCooPR. He's in the house.
Coop.
Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, Coop. I miss talking to you, man. We need you. We need you in party, man. So, by the way, let me pull this over here. Hopefully, it doesn't get rid of you guys. Lemon had mentioned he wanted to come crash the show. Hold on, let me see if he's available.
He just doesn't want to watch the show. He's just coming in the show. Onto the show.
I'm gonna find out if he wants to pop in. Oh shoot, okay. Let me get this back over here. Sorry.
Yeah, Lemon had a good breakdown of the sales of going over the sales of Call of Duty, and he even talked about it, even if PlayStation lost Call of Duty, it still wouldn't completely they'd still be the top platform. They wouldn't even lose enough money from it to lose the #1 spot.
Right. So Marceau says, hopefully Game Pass gets bigger and bigger and forces the competition to follow and stop being greedy. Funny you mentioned that, Marceau, because we just saw today. Remember how everybody, how the not everybody, but the CMA is saying, oh, Microsoft and their Game Pass could just crush the whole market. Who just announced today that they were getting ready to look at ramping up their own cloud gaming service? Netflix. Right. Charlie Hustle's in the house. What's up, Charlie? My brother Charlie's here. All my Sega friends are coming in now.
Yeah, Netflix has talked about making games for a while, but I haven't seen what kind of quality games would be on their platform as far as that goes. I'm not sure if you guys know of anything that's going there.
I don't. All they said was
like primarily like mobile kind of games right now.
Yeah, I would think so, because that's the market. That's the market.
But mobile games are getting better too. So
yes, they are. What did I say? What did I say last week? That everybody keeps focusing on Call of Duty, but nobody realizes.
Where's that?
Nobody realizes that I am convinced that is not the real reason that they're buying Activision Blizzard.
No.
And I know people don't like mobile. I know the purists. I'm going to try to make this a little bigger for people. I know that the hardcore purists don't want to listen and don't want to hear that, but that's the facts. That is just simply the fact, is that they are they're looking at King. They're not. Call of Duty in the end isn't everything to them.
They're looking at King. They're looking at Call of Duty Mobile.
Yep. So
again, that goes right back to what I was saying, diversifying the platform, what Sony still needs to work on, but what Microsoft already has done, furthering it into different markets.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, Chris makes a very good point. PlayStation changed PlayStation Plus to try to, he should have said try to compete with Game Pass. Because until day and date comes in Game Pass, it's not competing. And I will say what I have said from day one. The minute Sony gets day and date into PlayStation Plus to where I can play their catalog, I will subscribe to the highest tier of PlayStation Plus. I will subscribe to the highest tier.
It's going to be $1,000 a year, my friend.
Yeah, right?
No, it won't be. That'll be for if you want to get to the front of the line in customer service.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Right. If I could be a PlayStation star. So let's keep going because it gets better. The evidence shows that less than they cut that out. Less than blank of PlayStation's monthly active users are playing Call of Duty. Even without all those gamers, a highly improbable outcome from a hypothetical foreclosure strategy. The PlayStation gamer base would remain significantly larger than Xbox is today. Since the transaction was announced, Sony has acquired several game studios, including Bungie, developer of the popular online game Destiny 2, Haven Studios, Lazengal, and Savage Games, and a minority interest in From Software, the developer of the biggest game of 2022, Elden Ring, and other hit games. This complements Sony's existing minority shareholding in Epic Games, publisher of Fortnite, strong first-party game catalog, and extensive portfolio of exclusive arrangements with third-party publishers.
Turn the line, bold.
Oh, yeah, well, I have to give credit to Tom Warren here, so just to be fair. There are over 280 first and third-party titles on PlayStation in 2021, nearly 5 times as many as on Xbox. In short, Sony is not vulnerable to a hypothetical foreclosure strategy. I love this wording. We're not going to shut down Sony. Sony is not vulnerable to a hypothetical foreclosure strategy. I think I'm going to use that in my at my job from now on. And the referral decision incorrectly relies on self-serving statements by Sony, which significantly exaggerate. I'm now using exaggerating words here. It significantly exaggerate the importance of Call of Duty to it and neglect to account for Sony's clear ability to competitively respond. And I wish that they would have said with games like SOCOM. The CMA's assessment of this theory ignores its acknowledgement in the referral decision that the gaming industry is dynamic. While Sony may not welcome increased competition, it has the ability to adapt and compete. Gamers will ultimately benefit from this increased competition and choice. In any event, Microsoft has no intention to take Call of Duty away from gamers, and indeed, it has publicly committed not to do so. The value of Call of Duty depends on its community of gamers, the majority of whom are on PlayStation. Keeping Call of Duty on PlayStation is therefore a commercial imperative for the Xbox business and the economics of the transaction. As such, Microsoft has offered Sony a contractual commitment to continue supplying it with Call of Duty, including new releases with feature and content parity. The referral decision fails to explain why, in the CMA's view, Microsoft would make such commitments publicly and privately if it had no intention of honoring them. Microsoft would not do this. Foreclosure strategies of the type outlined in the referral decision would alienate the Call of Duty gamer base and tarnish both the Call of Duty and Xbox brands, undermining the rationale for the transaction. Microsoft would place at risk over somewhat of substantial revenues from other Xbox games distributed via PlayStation. Microsoft has been clear that it is counting on revenues from the distribution of Activision Blizzard games on Sony PlayStation as part of its business case for the acquisition. Give me 1 second, folks. These people are not that intelligent, so give me a quick second. That'll take care of that. That'll that'll take care of the that'll take care of that problem. All right, Xbox plans to bring Activision Blizzard content to its multi-game subscription, Game Pass. This will benefit gamers, boosting the value of the subscription and expanding access to Activision Blizzard content. Activision Blizzard has not allowed its content to be included in third-party subscriptions in any meaningful way in the past. Again, this increased competition has not been welcomed by the market leader Sony, which has elected to protect its revenues from sales of newly released games rather than offer gamers the choice of accessing them via its subscription PlayStation Plus. Oh my God. We love the term shots fired, right? This is cannon fire.
This is the other side of like, this is how you share games. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This is how you make a good subscription.
Yes. Oh, God. We're not done yet. Oh, we're not done. In theory of harm, the CMA again adopts Sony's complaints without considering the potential harm to consumers. The referral decision relies on an assumption that Activision Blizzard's content strategy will change in the future as subscription services become more popular. There are not facts anywhere to support this assertion, nor is there any basis for the idea that acquiring Call of Duty would tip subscription services in Xbox's favor. Sony has chosen to block Game Pass from PlayStation, so it's not available on PlayStation.
Does it mean that they actually did try to offer it?
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. Sony has chosen to block Game Pass from PlayStation, so it's not available on PlayStation. As all games that are available on Game Pass are also available to purchase, PlayStation gamers will continue to have the ability to buy Call of Duty on PlayStation, and doing so will still cost less than the cost of switching by buying a new Xbox console. Multi-game subscriptions offer consumers an additional payment option, like me. But there is substantial evidence that customers switch between payment options, with subscription being constrained by buy-to-play and free-to-play games. Accordingly, Game Pass will continue to face significant competition across the board, and gamers will continue to have alternative purchasing options post-transaction. Should any consumers decide to switch from a gaming platform that does not give them a choice as to how to pay for new games, PlayStation, to one that does, Xbox, then that is a sort of consumer switching behavior that the CMA should consider welfare enhancing and indeed encourage. It is not something that the CMA should prevent. I don't mean to laugh. I really don't. I have never seen this before in my life. I watched Blizzard get acquired by Activision from Vivendi. I've watched Sony buy Naughty Dog and all these other studios. We've seen Embracer buy half of Square Enix. We've seen Tencent that's getting ready to get in on this. This basically, I'll tell you what this is. This is setting up for the eventual court case that's going to happen. Because if the CMA blocks this, it's going to court. And this is amazing. Should any consumers decide to switch from a gaming platform that does not give them a choice as to how to pay for new games to one that does, then that is the sort of consumer switching behavior that the CMA should consider welfare enhancing and encourage. It's not something that the CMA should prevent. You should be happy if we put our games on Game Pass and PlayStation gamers want to come over to Xbox because they can get it for subscription. Let's see if there's anything. 3 of Harm 2 is novel and without precedent. It suffers from a number of fundamental flaws. First, the CMA alleges that Microsoft has an advantage over rivals in the cloud gaming by having a broad multi-product ecosystem, including a leading cloud platform and PC operating system. However, Microsoft's cloud gaming service, Xbox Cloud Gaming, does not use either of these offerings. That's interesting. It uses bespoke infrastructure not provided by Azure. That's new, right? Did we not know this before?
I mean, I technically have to see what's Azure, you know.
Azure be their data centers.
Right. If it's just data center, then the you know,
Well,
if
you know
that's your
what?
definition of Azure, then it does. But Microsoft says it's not because it's not part of that particular infrastructure.
Well, you know what
Though
it
it
says?
might be in the same physical space, it's not
The
connected.
cloud. It's not the cloud.
Well, they also put in there, and it does not stream games from PC hardware. We already knew it wasn't
Right.
PC hardware.
They're using Series X blades.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Yeah, it's Series X parts that are put right into the server blades.
All right. So there you go. And Myke Hawkhurst says, for all the studios Microsoft has, I'm still waiting for that overwhelming abundance of content. My PS5 still gets 90% of the playtime in my household over to Series X. Fair. This has not been a good year for Xbox releases. I get that. 2023 seems to be when that is going to start rolling through. So.
But either way, I mean, that's, you know, it's fine. Play wherever you want to play. You know, if that's your preferred system, then play where you like.
So indeed, Xbox considers that it faces a number of significant disadvantages compared to rival providers of infrastructure for game streaming. Could leverage this ecosystem with Activision Blizzard gaming content to strengthen network effects, raise barriers to entry, and henceforth foreclose rivals in cloud gaming services. This again makes no sense. And again, Netflix literally today just blew this entire thing up. Like, this whole thing just got destroyed by Netflix's announcement. The CMA provides no evidence that rivals rely on Microsoft's multi-product ecosystem for cloud gaming, which is true because some use AWS. Stadia was using Google. Amazon's using their own AWS.
And then you have what's the other big one? Rack something?
Rackspace.
Rackspace.
Which is what Sony was using at the beginning. Consumer does not have the ability to foreclose competition. Consumer adoption of cloud gaming remains low. Harming or degrading rival services would significantly set back adoption of this technology, protecting market-leading incumbents, i.e. Sony on console, Apple and Google on mobile, as well as PC.
Here's one thing, if I may interject, Mike.
Yes, please.
It seems to be that people, when they say Game Pass, they say Game Pass equals cloud gaming. Those are not the same.
They're not the same.
No, that's just an option through it. You can still download it to your console, play it that way. You can download it to your PC.
Do they have a separate cloud xCloud subscription?
No, it's just a bonus
separate, right? But they do have.
It's built in.
Have regular Game Pass, you don't get the cloud streaming with it. And there's the PC Game Pass, which doesn't include I don't think it includes the streaming either. It's only if you have the Ultimate one that includes the.
True. Xbox now as a platform, which is in last place in console, 7th place in PC, and nowhere in mobile game distribution globally, has no incentive to do this. Instead, its incentive is
I
to
think the last mobile game they had was that Forza Street, right?
Yeah, before that, I think it was Gears Pop.
Yeah, Gears
One
Pop.
thing that they do have is Solitaire.
Minesweeper mobile.
Minesweeper, all the
No.
who knows?
So basically, I'm not going to go through all of it. This is hilarious. So this seems to be. So the rest of this is just kind of like, just information. And see, the transaction gives Microsoft a meaningful presence in mobile gaming.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush Saga. Microsoft has consistently voiced its commitment to continue to make games available for purchase on any platform on which they are currently available. Microsoft has backed this up, sending Sony a signed contractual offer to keep all existing Activision Blizzard console titles on Sony PlayStation, including future installments of Call of Duty, with feature and content parity. They're not even going to do... It sounds like they're not even going to do any kind of content deal, content exclusivity. They just want it on Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation is the leading console platform, and discontinuing distribution of Activision Blizzard titles on other platforms would cost Microsoft around billions of dollars of revenue in 2024 alone. The deal valuation does not include increased hardware sales, which do not form part of the deal rationale. Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard will support its investments in Game Pass. Game Pass gives gamers an additional way to pay for games, as the same games that are available on Game Pass are also available to purchase, and gamers frequently switch between the two payment models. By offering gamers the ability to try new games for a fixed monthly fee, Game Pass encourages gamers to play a broader range of games. The addition of Activision Blizzard titles such as Call of Duty to Game Pass is projected to increase the Game Pass subscriber base across console and PC to the blah, 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 to create next generation game store. Microsoft does not intend to remove Call of Duty from PlayStation or to degrade access to the franchise. As evidence on this is clear and includes Microsoft's public statements and correspondence with Sony, public statements by Sony, the strategic rationale for the transaction, deal valuation, and internal documents related to the transaction. There's no evidence that Microsoft has considered withdrawing Call of Duty from PlayStation because it has not.
And they haven't done with any game.
They haven't.
Of the studios that they acquired.
No.
They've even made more. Like Minecraft, the dungeons.
Yep. Starfield's the only one so far that is staying, and Redfall.
And ironically, even after Cerebral repeated
But those have not been released, so we don't know if it's ever going to happen or not.
As far as what they've said, even when they showed off Starfield a little bit at first, Cerebral had to put repeatedly in there, and yes, it's exclusive. And people still asked after that video. It's like they didn't listen. Same with this. Oh, no, it's not going to be exclusive. Okay, then why are you... It's like, you listening? Because you keep saying, oh, we're worried about being exclusive. It's not. Are you sure? Well, I don't know at this point because you keep...
But remember what Phil said. He said it's going to be available wherever Game Pass is, right?
Oh, yeah.
He said. So PlayStation says no Game Pass, so no Starfield for you. So don't come crying now and say like, oh, yeah.
However, even
it's
if...
kind of funny, big block. He mentions Office 365. how much Microsoft can eventually force subscription over purchase.
Yeah.
But now they came back slightly back on that, and offer a standalone Office.
Oh, you always
Right.
could. You've always still been able to buy standalone Office.
Well, yeah, it might not be for consumers though. It might have been offices and stuff.
No, Office.
I think. Or the other way around. I forgot what it is.
There's
It was always
Office.
a little more. Iffy.
It's Office Home and Business is the one you can buy for single license. But it's
And also, it's not going to be Office 365 anymore. It's going to be Microsoft.
Microsoft 365. Yep, because they just like confusing everybody. However, even if Microsoft were to withdraw Call of Duty from PlayStation, it would not lead to a substantial lessening of competition. For Sony to be foreclosed, it would have to go from being the clear market leader to being placed at such a disadvantage that its ability to compete is substantially limited. The suggestion that the incumbent market leader could be foreclosed by the third largest console provider as a result of losing access to one title is not credible. This is just...
So Sony is saying that even Peter Parker cannot save Sony.
That's what they're saying. The CMA did not even try to quantify the impact on Sony in Phase 1. Damn. Goes no further than to assert that a foreclosure strategy could have some unspecified impact on Sony's revenues and user base. There's no assessment of the impact on competition or consumers. Indeed, while Sony is mentioned 57 times in the referral decision, consumers are only referred to 10 times.
Yeah.
Holy crap. In
So
considering...
who are you really worried about protecting?
In considering this theory at Phase 1, the referral decision fails to consider the effect of a merger on competition in the market rather than on individual competitors. Emphasis added. Jesus. Requires plausible.
So we know Xbox is 2021 install base is 63.7 million consoles.
Yep. Which is good, but it's not. I mean, PlayStation is the market leader.
Double that and then some.
Yeah.
I guess that's PS4, PS5. And
Good question.
Xbox One through Series.
That's a good question. All right, so we saw this. This move has been described by commentators as displaying an unfortunate error. Jeez Louise.
Talk about the price.
In considering Sony's market position, it's important to take account of its large portfolio of high-quality exclusive content. This includes prominent titles such as The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, Spider-Man, Demon's Souls, and the Uncharted series. All phenomenal games, might I add. These exclusive titles accounted for approximately 17% of consumer spend on PlayStation over the period 2019-2021 and achieved considerably higher average Metacritic scores in 2021 and 2020. In 2021, PlayStation had at least 286 exclusive titles generating revenue as compared to Xbox's... They cut that.
Snip.
PlayStation also has a spate of first and third-party exclusives lined up for launch in 2023, including Spider-Man 2, Wolverine Horizon, Final Fantasy 16, and Forspoken. Sony executives have recently stated that they are growing organically and through acquisitions, and this places Sony in a virtuous
cycle. Are they growing
cycle.
their own money? Trees? Is that organically?
Exactly, like oranges.
Like oranges.
Yep. These advantages must be fully considered at Phase 2 in assessing whether Sony would likely be foreclosed as a console competitor as a result of the transaction. Contrary to the concerns they should have put outlined by Sony, in the referral decision, transaction would help Xbox to continue to offer innovative new content offerings and compete more vigorously with Sony and Nintendo and other leading game companies. No ability to foreclose Sony, right? The merged entity will not have upstream market power. Just looking for. The evidence, in fact, shows that Call of Duty gamers cannot be considered special or unique. I mean, this is. Sony has overstated the importance of Call of Duty to its viability. I mean, this is amazing. They really... The success of platforms without Call of Duty lays bare the fallacy of the Sony theory of harm. Here we go. As well as lacking evidence that the foreclosure strategy would credibly threaten Sony's viability, the CMA has disregarded evidence from the market today demonstrating that a console's platform competitiveness cannot be affected by an inability to offer Call of Duty to gamers. Nintendo's console business is highly successful without a single version of Call of Duty being available to play on its latest console. The Nintendo Switch... A further example of the platform that has succeeded without Call of Duty is Steam, which is the largest digital storefront.
Now you also know that Amico will never have any chance, right?
Oh,
no
yeah.
Call of Duty.
No Call of Duty.
Nothing. Right?
I'm just going to go ahead and put that back in the box and send it back to Phil.
Yeah.
So indeed, the referral decision does not address Steam, but the CMA seeks to dismiss the relevance of Nintendo's console success absent Call of Duty by claiming that this is because Nintendo generally offers a differentiated gaming experience to Xbox and PlayStation, and that Xbox and PlayStation are closer substitutes to each other than to Nintendo Switch. So, hey, what's up, Hurt Talk Vin?
Hey.
Holy cow, dude, it's been a minute. How you doing, man? There you go. Amico will have tanks. Who needs Call of Duty? That reminds me, Myke, I got to find out where Armor Battle is in development. I played that last year. There's video up on the in one of my videos from Amico Fest last year. I played Armor Battle last year with Tommy. I got to know where that is. So anyway, sorry. See, get me off my game here. The suggestion that and that Xbox and PlayStations are closer substitutes to each other than Nintendo Switch. The suggestion that Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo are not close competitors is incorrect. But in any event, these claims miss the relevant point. It is precisely the fact that Nintendo successfully offers a differentiated console platform without Call of Duty, which demonstrates that console platforms have many options available to compete effectively, which are not dependent on any particular gaming content. I'll tell you what, whoever wrote this needs a pay raise.
Mm-hmm. Only when a deal goes through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point, I was playing in a different chat. I was talking about Splatoon as far as the shooter on the Nintendo Switch, and somebody said that was one of the highest bought games right now over there.
Yup. Just see what else is in here. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Cannot base its assessment on an assertion that Xbox would willingly incur substantial losses. So a lot of this is now based upon, saying that Microsoft could lose money, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Fails to take into account the account of cross-platform play. Partial foreclosure is an even weaker theory of harm. I mean, basically, I think the first half of this document probably did what it needed to do. Key benefit for transaction for gamers lies in Xbox's plan to make Activision Blizzard content available on Game Pass on the day of the game's release, known as day and date access. This will offer gamers on Xbox, PC, Steam Deck, Logitech G Cloud, and other devices that support Game Pass a choice as to how they pay for this content. For gamers who choose to subscribe to Game Pass, they will have access to a broader menu of games to choose from and enjoy. Xbox may differentiate Game Pass by including Activision Blizzard games in Game Pass while not making the titles available in the same manner or at the same time on other subscription services. It is not plausible that such a strategy could result in a substantial lessening of competition.
But I think hopefully it forces Sony to actually go out and make their own shooter or bring one back.
Yeah.
They could.
They should have already worked on it.
They
Should
could.
have. Either that or, yeah, like I said, making a new one, which apparently they're working on a bunch of live service games, possibly with the help of Bungie, just being acquired by them, giving them knowledge of how to conduct a successful live service.
Perhaps.
Well, big shout out to Big Block Plymouth for the $4.99 super chat. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Big Block. All right, so the rest of this is just kind of, laying out the strategy for cloud gaming. I think the first part of this really hit the nail on the head. Basically, if the CMA, Microsoft has a conclusion. In conclusion, Microsoft has engaged constructively with the CMA throughout pre-notification and Phase 1 process. Microsoft was disappointed that it was not offered the opportunity to explain these points to the CMA in detail prior to the Phase 1 issues meeting and supplementary issues meeting, despite several requests to provide teach-in sessions for the benefit of the case team. Microsoft looks forward to engaging with the panel through the Phase 2 process to explain the benefits that the transaction will bring to gamers, developers, and the gaming industry more broadly. For the reasons set out in this response, the theories of harm and evidence presented in the referral decision do not provide any plausible basis on which it could be found that the transaction will give rise to a substantial lessening of competition. Blah, 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 blah. So, there it is. Microsoft basically saying, bring it on. And here's why you can't do this.
Yeah.
So,
be very careful what you conclude, because well, the thing is, like, say the CMA says, okay, denied for whatever reason. Then it can go to that other board and saying, hey, they didn't do due diligence, and that other board will kick it back to them, right? And then, but what if they keep the same conclusion, still don't do their job? I don't know. Seems like they have an awful lot of power for.
Yeah, it sure does. Oops. Hey, kicked my monitor here. Hold on. My monitor's coming back on. So the $1 million question. Given that they sent this type of response in, obviously it's gonna trigger some people at the CMA who think they're, God and country on this. But does this answer the mail? And do you think the CMA is pressured to not strike this down now? And B, if they do, do you think this goes to court? Microsoft can then win.
I'm not sure they would want it to go to court. Hopefully they can settle it between themselves. Because I think, I mean, as far as Microsoft, I don't know how much the CMA would want that even more so in the public eye between the both of them, because it already looks bad from that document. We can already see that. At the same point, if you're claiming to protect the consumers at the same where you're taking shots at a company after the one you're supposedly protecting the first party that raised the price of their console, raised the price of their games, we'll get to see how much the
Stiffer
VR,
competition.
yeah, the VR costs. If you're looking at the monthly price of the highest tier compared to Game Pass, it's $3 more. For the PlayStation Plus's highest tier, across the board, it's more expensive on PlayStation than it is on Xbox. If you're supposed to be the market leader and you think that you can, essentially, that you're selling a premium product, but all of a sudden you lose one game and all of that that you jack the prices up on compared to your competitor is going to foreclose you. I mean, at that point, you might even just match the prices, and even that would show more to your customers that you're prioritizing them than trying to just milk them for every dime they have. But obviously, doesn't seem to be the concern, especially as myself as a customer. Why am I going to open my wallet? Why am I going to go out and buy a PS5 if you raise the price $50 and all you did was as far as in the US, all you did was put a game in there? I've already bought. Because I bought the deluxe edition of Horizon Forbidden West. So it's not a value proposition to me to put in the standard version if I bought the deluxe version, and that makes it for both PS4 and the PS5 I could play it on. So it's very odd to see all of this public at this point, where I think the more we progress and the more gaming gets popular, that's what's pushing it forward in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as will it go to court, will it not go to court, we'll have to wait and see on that. But at the very least, it's been very interesting and somewhat comical where each side is going with their points on this.
You also think this document was written this way it's like, EU, FCC,
Mm-hmm.
be careful what you say, because
Sorry, I had a work message.
Oh, okay.
my job. I love my job. Trust me, I do. But damn, sometimes. Okay. So. Yeah. This is gonna.
I mean, they really don't have a leg to stand on, except, what can you do? I mean, they can decide whatever they do, and then that other higher court or whatever it is can,
Mm-hmm.
and push come to shove, it can either say like, yeah, the CMA has to do a better job, or it can come to the same conclusion, and it's like, and that's it. I mean, at that point, there's nothing else they can do.
I
They
don't.
can decide not to do business, and they can do a Brexit.
Well,
no soup for you.
yeah. Just quit your job and lift off donations like that. I wish I was more hip to the stuff that goes on out there. I have to admit, I'm not I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know. I mean, I've seen your stuff on it, Marceau, and it's more kind of amusing to me of what goes on out there in the internet. But it's odd that Sony remasters the same games over and over and over while they have a vault of IPs which need it. SOCOM, Siphon Filter. People have been asking for Siphon Filter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Forever.
Twisted Metal.
Yep.
Has there been a new Twisted Metal since PlayStation 2?
I thought that wasn't there one on PS3? Hang on.
Was Twisted Metal Black on PS3 or is that PS2?
Hang on, I'll tell you.
Maybe they remastered it on the 3.
It's a reboot. So the PS3 version
Hey,
was
Yobi says that was
Yobi.
PS2.
Yep.
Yes, Black was PS2. So, Brother Yobi's in the house. What's up, Brother Yobi? Oh, man. I had a... Ouch. Sorry. Getting easily
Did you
distracted.
get a paper cut from a digital document?
Yes. Yeah, they could bring back Twisted. But do you know how many people would flip the frick out? If Sony got a new Twisted Metal, a new Siphon Filter, new SOCOM, tried to bring back Killzone.
What I said last week. Lemmings.
Well, you know.
I'd take a Legend of Dragoon reboot.
Legend of Dragoon. Forgot about that series. I mean, it's they've got IPs. So.
Oh, Nate's
Brother
in the house.
Nate's in the house. We got the second crew coming in.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think we've beaten this one down a little more. So,
Yeah.
I'm curious to where this goes. I really am. So, all right. It's 11:38.
It's definitely an entertaining read.
It was an entertaining read. This is like 10 years ago. I don't think so. I don't think Microsoft would have written this. I mean, I'm serious. No matter what happens, whoever wrote this should get a friggin' medal, because that is one of the that is
the lawyers
something
that makes like $1,000 per hour, you know?
Yeah. Oh, Brian's got another one, Destruction Derby. Dude, I love Destruction Derby.
Yeah.
You know, the last Wipeout was on PS4, and they remastered that, the Omega Collection. Bring out a new Wipeout. 11:38. No, it's 5:38.
Hey, who made Destruction Derby?
Destruction
I had it
Derby.
on PC.
Destruction Derby was made by Psygnosis.
Ah, yeah.
Oh, it's published by Psygnosis. So it's developed by Reflections Interactive and Looking Glass Studios, and it came out on the N64 as well. So the fact that it was published by Psygnosis might mean that Sony owns the IP now. Yeah, that document was savage, Jose. And Charlie says, I want Microsoft to get that fire behind them, compete hard.
Well, here's another thing. Say this whole deal is off the table. Now Microsoft has 70 billion minus 3. Still a war chest of $67 billion. You know what they could do? They can buy exclusivity, you know, all the Capcoms exclusive for a year, even all the From softwares, probably everything, you know. Sony will be definitely in a pickle.
Right. If they really wanted to.
If they really want to, if you poke the bear enough, then the bear gets mad.
Yep. And resistance as well, Hertog. Resistance too. Motorstorm is another Sony that got,
Yeah.
Well, there's another option. I mean, I think too, you got to remember that that Activision shareholders will be very angry if this doesn't go through. And I could see them directing Bobby Kotick, because Bobby, keep this in mind too. Bobby Kotick will.
You know what he can do? He can buy Sony a PlayStation.
Yeah. I'm just.
I mean, how much would Sony be? Or PlayStation? Let's just call it PlayStation.
PlayStation might be more than 67 billion.
No, yeah, but how much will? Yeah.
PlayStation's net worth in 2022. It doesn't.
But still, if the deal doesn't get, I think it's fine.
Well, PlayStation's net worth as of October 2022 is $45 billion. So. And Charlie Hustle says it right. Activision approached Microsoft. So if this falls through, I could see Activision. First off, Activision will be pissed at Sony. No doubt about this. Sony could lose out on this either way. I think they've put themselves in a position that it's like, okay, that luckily Microsoft doesn't want to lose the revenue of Call of Duty. So they're going to keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation. I've always said, you leave Call of Duty there, you can leave Diablo there, you can leave those games there, but World of Warcraft comes to Xbox and only Xbox. Stays on PC.
How about Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero, although I think the era of that game is gone. I think the era...
I don't know though. Phil Spencer might want to bring it back.
Like he'd bring back Kinect.
Oh yeah.
He's never going to do that.
Should have gotten a baseball bat to the knees for just that decision. Jeez.
I know. See?
I mean, it's one thing you're saying like, okay, the Kinect 2 is not supported on the series consoles, but then come out with a Kinect 3.0 or something, you know?
Right. But I think that Sony should have kept their mouth shut, because now.
You know that Sony can never, if this deal falls through, they can never acquire anything.
Oh yeah. I'm a party pooper. I'm just saying it's a possibility. So if this fell through, one of two things will happen. Microsoft and Activision will start doing massive third-party deal. Every Activision Blizzard game still. Let me put it this way. I think that no matter what, every Activision Blizzard game now will go to Game Pass, including Call of Duty once that contract's up. Activision will never sign another exclusivity contract with Sony. They will go to Microsoft scorned and want Microsoft to do deals with them. And if they do get this thing through, sure, they'll get Call of Duty, but I say all the other IPs, Crash Bandicoots, Spyro the Dragon, Tony Hawk, nobody's talking about those IPs.
Hey, what happens if Activision cancels the deal that they have with Sony and PlayStation. It's a breach of contract. They
It is.
probably pay an exit clause B, whatever, something.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that.
Well, I think I've heard playing time sets up in about a year anyways, so waiting out that contract rather than breaching it makes a lot more sense. And
Yeah.
that's why Microsoft was talking about extending that deal for a few years. But who knows where that is?
That won't.
Well, that might be off the table.
Well, that
unless
would be
being forced.
Well, that will be off the table because Microsoft won't own Call of Duty or won't own Activision. So
True. But even if they do, and it's not part of any agreements with the CMA, etc., then say screw that too.
Yeah. What happens if see, and this is what I'd never understood. What if the CMA blocks this, but the FTC doesn't?
And the EU doesn't. And everybody else doesn't.
I mean, we already know that Brazil didn't. We already know that Saudi Arabia didn't. Yeah. I am quite sure Japan will have no problem with this. So what happens?
I think the rest just wait for FCC and EU and stuff, and then they align themselves and say like,
I'm just curious as to how. All right, it can't go through if the CMA just denies it.
Why not? They just can't do business, right?
See, that makes no sense because they're U.S.-based companies.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this would have reverberating repercussions across the gaming sphere if the CMA blocks this. Like this isn't the CMA blocking Meta from buying Giphy, right? This is not the same thing.
No.
So thanks, Charlie. Charlie's gonna send me an article on that. I'm keen on this because I honestly don't understand how in the hell they could have that much influence that they could stop the deal from going through.
Yeah, that's why I watch a bunch of, like, when it starts to get into the legal side of that versus, how it affects the consumer or how we would feel about the deal. When it starts to get into the legal aspect, I watch a lot of Hogue Law's videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good source for that.
All right. 11:48, and I think we've beaten this horse a bit more. So where do we want to go from here, boys?
Talk about ponies and horses. All right.
Maybe he was right. I'm just an Xbot, with 49 years of gaming experience. So, I'm sorry.
So that means Xbox has been around for 49 years?
That's right.
Maybe he was born with it.
So where do we go from here, boys? We could talk about
30 FPS games.
Yeah, do that real quick. Yeah.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let's do this. So, watch. People are. Oh, see, he doesn't want to talk about the Amico anymore. 30 FPS game. 30 FPS versus 60 FPS
versus 120 FPS.
All right. Hang on. I'm going to. This is real time, guys. This is real time. I don't know why it's that small.
And that on 60 FPS.
Right. All right. So, yeah, this was a thing. So, Gotham Knights. I'm gonna throw a video on. I think I have some Gotham Knights video here. Gotham Knights. The upcoming. This is just the Nightwing character trailer, but whatever. Gotham Knights. Let me make sure I get the exact right quote, because this has made news. Now they did put out a new trailer, so maybe I'll go and let me go and
trailer in 60 FPS.
It might not be. So tell you what, let's do this. I'll play this video while we're talking. I just find it funny that people have such fun with what developers have to say. All right, here's the video. So, and where is the? All right, hang on.
Rated T for teen.
I thought it was going. Hold on, sorry. I hit play. There we go.
It's too much violence and blood.
Right. Okay. So, Gotham Knights is limited to 30 FPS on console and won't have a performance mode. So, executive producer Fleur Marty via Discord said that this was due to the types of features included in the game. Adding the additional option of a performance mode would not have been as straightforward as lowering the resolution and getting a higher FPS. Yeah. Oh, here's the actual tweet. Let me do this. This is on Eurogamer. I know many of you were wondering about the availability of a performance mode for Gotham Knights on consoles. Due to the types of features we have in our game, like providing a fully untethered co-op experience in our highly detailed open world, it's not as straightforward as lowering the resolution and getting a higher FPS. For this reason, our game does not have a performance quality toggle option and will run at 30 FPS on consoles.
You know, it either runs in 0 or 30. You have a
Yes.
choice.
Now, to be fair, because I know people have said that the developer was blaming the
Potato?
Series S. It wasn't a developer of the game. It was somebody who works at Rocksteady that's not working on the game. Yeah, Gotham Knight has Fortnite graphics. That you are not wrong, Marceau. But here's what's funny to me. Like a fully untethered co-op experience in our highly detailed open world. Peter, haven't you and I and some other people played a fully untethered co-op experience in a highly detailed open world at 60 frames per second on the Series X?
You probably have.
Yeah. That has some 10th anniversary content on it that you told me I got to go get?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What game is that again?
Well, it's the game where the rubber meets the road.
Uh-huh.
It's at Forza Horizon 5.
Uh-huh.
You can drive around and you're not tethered at all.
No. You and I and Back and Nate and Marceau and Jose and Boogie and De Niro and Charlie and Yobi
Axel.
and Axel
Yobi.
and Hertog, we could all be in a convoy. And we could all be in everywhere we want to be in the map.
Yeah.
And it's all 60 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty damn highly detailed open world, if I remember correctly.
It is.
Yeah. So I don't want to hear this. Don't give me this. Just say we need to lock it at 30
not to.
FPS. Right. We need to lock it at 30. You know what? At least do what Insomniac does. It's for cinematic purposes.
Yeah. The same
Nate
thing with
says
the
Modern
movies
Warfare.
at 24 frames per second.
Yeah, Modern Warfare. Oh, you know what, Nate?
Film.
Nate.
Yeah, because film was expensive. The less frames you have, the longer movies you can put on a spool. Yeah.
Yeah, Nate. Type that again without the profanity. That's why it's not showing up on the left. I have a profanity filter on. I'm sorry, brother. He says Modern Warfare effing 2 will run at 120 FPS on Series S. Mic drop. He's not wrong.
There he is.
He's not wrong.
Yep.
I'm gonna drop that topic because I think this is gonna be the last one for the night. But this lends to another kind of debate, and I kind of wanted your guys' thoughts on this. We've had this talk before, but now we're in a different console generation with what has been described as the most powerful hardware ever created by man for for consoles, right? On par with the highest tech PCs, right? And I'm being fair. I'm lumping in.
That was
PS5
still last
too.
week, though.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now we have 4090s that are like.
Right. So how is it that WB Games, who is a large developer, we talked about Asobo and Plague's Tale being 30 FPS, but it's also a little more unlocked on 120 hertz. But how is it that they can't get this to run at 60 FPS? How is it that other developers can? I hear this untethered bullshit.
I mean, honestly, they didn't invest the time.
That's.
So I'm just.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just looking up a few different things, and you may have to drop the resolution on Cyberpunk in the performance mode, but they can get their game to 60 FPS. I think they said they had to reduce the amount of NPCs. You've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla will run 60 FPS. That's a large open world on Series S. You've got ESO that they updated it to run at 60 FPS on Series S. I mean, you've got plenty of titles that are large open worlds that are able to optimize their games if you invest the time. Now, the question really is, was that really just their artistic vision at that point, that they didn't want to reduce the NPCs, the amount of reflections on buildings? I mean, or same point, did you really just not want to invest the time and money? That's one thing I've been hearing floating around, that if WB is starting to cut back because they're having financing issues with trying to cancel some of their debt.
I don't know. Boogie says he bets money that Hogwarts Legacy will run at 30 FPS.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Ham Solo says, name co-op experiences that are next gen that run at 60 FPS in open world. I want to hear a list. Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah, like it just said Cyberpunk after they had to update a lot of times and they had to put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
But it does run at 60 FPS on Series S.
Yeah, is it a short list?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
So
Here's
I'm not
another
saying
thing
it's
with,
not a-
with
but
the
it-
new
it-
Plague Tale. It runs at 30 unless you
Have a 120
the-
hertz monitor.
120 hertz monitor, and then it runs at 40. And it's like, wait a minute, what does it really have to do with that? That's kind of weird.
Right. I just would,
I
just
can see with your variable refresh rate, your free syncs and stuff, that
Mm-hmm.
you'd be able to run that uncapped. But why does it have to be 120?
I mean, bet me
hertz and not just
that
60?
I mean, have you heard that now granted it's not out yet, but when eventually Halo Infinite's multiplayer campaign co-op comes out, that's going to be 60 FPS.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not aware of issues in multiplayer with Forza. I mean, there might have been at some at the beginning, but that's netcode. That's not
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
60 That's not because it was running at 60 FPS.
No, that's matchmaking issues. They had the same
I-
exact issues when we tried to play Forza Horizon 4 in community game nights.
Yeah, I think you just bring it out and just don't open yourself up to that. I mean, Callisto Protocol tweeted out today, "We would love to inform
they
you that
put a
we will be
little-
shipping globally on December 2nd." And yes, we'll have a 60 FPS performance mode. So I mean, I'm not saying I'm not.
I mean, can we be disappointed that we still have to make that choice, between 60 performance or 30, high fidelity mode? I think it's disappointing.
Yeah.
I mean, still, you would just rather actually have the option to choose one or the other.
Well,
Oh, but if
yes.
they technically
But in a
can't
perfect
get
world,
it to
it would be
work,
60 and then with all bells and whistles. And I think they just got used to having 30, and it's like now they,
Mm-hmm.
they have that and just squeeze everything else out of it or add whatever they can to it instead of like, have it at 60 and do whatever you can,
right?
because people are used to 30.
Yeah, so Ham also makes this great point. I think games coming out half baked is the new normal. The new catchword is patch.
Yeah.
Yeah, day one patch.
But also, like, excuse me, Plague Tale 1 runs at 60 now, right?
Which one?
Not initially, but it runs now at 60. So it's
Which one?
interesting that the new one runs at 30.
Oh, Plague's Tale, right?
Yeah, Plague Tale.
And see,
Mhm.
that's a single player game. And
It's a
see,
single player game.
yeah, AAA games being broken is the new norm, right? I don't care about 4K, but my eyes see the FPS though, and I need 60. I agree with that. It's not that
When
it's
I
not that I
pan
can't.
and I see like tick 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 tick, it's kind of very jerky. That makes me just sick.
Yes, it's not. And we're at the hardware, and Charlie's right. We're blaming the hardware. We're at the point to where either 60 FPS at 4K or drop the shit to 1440 or drop it to 1080. Do that if you have to. But you have to. I think you have to. I think when you don't. I don't know. I think this is development. I don't think this is the hardware. I don't think you could blame the hardware, especially since Gotham Knights, to my knowledge, is not coming out on the PS4 or Xbox One.
Right.
Why isn't anyone talking about FSR? Because FreeSync, you're right. FreeSync's another one. But again, I think we're looking at, this is also Warner Brothers Montreal. This isn't even Rocksteady, right? This is Warner Brothers Montreal. So a guy from Rocksteady is the one who really talked about the Series S. He didn't have anything to do with the game, and he didn't know what he was talking about, and that's why he ended up having to protect his Twitter account because he just stuck his foot in his mouth, and it's just a wrong thing to do, especially on social media.
And if it's CPU heavy, then isn't the Series S CPU even better than a PS5?
Yeah.
It's
I mean, look at this.
But they're super close.
Let me show you this, because this will make your blood boil. All right, your minimum PC specs. Windows 10, of course, i5 or Ryzen 5, 8 gig of RAM, a GTX 1660 or an RX 590, which I think I have on my streaming PC, and 60 FPS at 1080p lowest settings. The recommended specs: an i7 or Ryzen 5 5600X, 16 gig of RAM, an RTX 2070 or a Radeon 5700 XT, 60 FPS at 1080p high settings. PC isn't even getting 4K mode. Exactly, those even aren't even crazy specs.
mm-hmm.
So drop the game to 1080p. I mean, it's exactly what Marceau said earlier. Drop the game to 1080p. The fact that the console version can't do it, but the PC version can. See, this is where people need. This is where
that smells like bullshit.
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay.
I can't follow that. I mean, this is.
I mean, the only excuse they could come up with at this point is that they still haven't gotten a good enough grip on the dev tools for the console.
But the Xbox is built off of Windows 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Oh my God.
Mistakes were made.
It's crazier that the PC version will probably be the cheapest way to play. That's right.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So the
$10 cheaper.
Yeah.
For more FPSs.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently my 4-year-old graphics card will actually handle that game better than my Series X will.
Yeah. Same.
So I'm thinking it'll run on the Amico at 60 FPS. I hate this. I hate that. So, but I do want to. So we've had this discussion though about frame rate before, and there's plenty of both sides of this. Would you rather 30 FPS or 60 FPS? I think I'm always going to take 60 FPS.
60. Now here's the thing. Like, for instance, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I played it at 60 FPS, even though you can play it at 30 with all the eye candy on and stuff. You don't really notice the difference unless you put pictures side by side. It's like, yeah, that definitely looks better. But otherwise, it still looks mighty fine.
It does. And that's the thing. Ooh. Marceau just put up another Outrun speedrun video. Hang on a second. Since Marceau's in the chat, I gotta. I'm sorry, I don't mean to derail us, but dude, I gotta call out Marceau in the best way possible. Give me a second here, because this man, this is my hero.
Yeah, Nate is right. Every game should be using a variable refresh rate with free syncs and
Everyone, hang on, because while we're talking, I'm showing.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. Let me just listen real quick to see what music he's using. All right, he's using Passing Breeze, which I'm getting better at listening to, but I want you guys to see that this man rocks Outrun. And I don't mean just the Genesis version. He's played the Game Gear version, he's played the PC Engine version. He has done this game isn't like 10 FPS. Let's call that what it is, you know. But and guys, go sub to Master System Marceau. The dude, I love these speedrun videos. Yes, he has played the Yakuza version, the arcade version. He has. I'm pretty sure that Marceau, you're in the chat. You could speak for yourself on this, but yes, I believe that he has. So
give me. Why is it called a speed run? I mean, this car only goes so fast, right?
It does, but you're going for runtime. So every crash, every
right,
not hitting every turn correctly and going off into the grass, all of that goes into your runtime.
right.
So
for a second I thought he was finding shortcuts and that makes it the time.
No, see every time, see how he touched the grass a little bit. Yeah. Every bit of that slows you down a second. So the whole idea of the speed run is to make sure that you have a perfect run and you get, I think there's a speed run website that marks these things, and there's actual world records and stuff like that. So Marceau's just so impressive. Like Relic is right, man. He is the real deal. So I just wanted to bring this in. This is one of his new videos. He's almost at, he's almost at 500 subs. Go sub to this man.
We need a new Outrun.
We
do. There's
do.
some clones, but they're not. They don't hit the sweet spot like the olden days.
We need a new Outrun. Oh my gosh. Because
Who owns Outrun? Who owns the IP?
Sega.
Sega?
Yeah.
Sega, get off your rear end and...
Dude, they could. Outrun 2.
We need to have DigitalOcean do an Outrun.
You mean Digital
Eclipse?
Digital Eclipse?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, would you want it to come back with modern graphics or these old style graphics?
Well, if you think about, so if they did something like that, they could do Outrun, Outrunners, Outrun 2, and then as a bonus, they could bring in Power Drift, which was kind of that same technology, but just a slightly different type of game. So.
Yeah, it is a modern game too. I forgot the name. I think I might have it. I don't know if I have it on PC.
Yeah, there's clones.
It's also something similar, but it's.
He does. Let me put his Twitter in here because I know you guys can't do links, so I will do it. Scud Race would be a great one. Scud Race, dude. Oh, if they did, they could do an arcade. Think about the arcade Sega racing game collection, all right? Outrun, Outrunners, Outrun 2, Power Drift, Scud Race. Sega Rally Championship. I think is Scud Race the one that was the Model 3, the Model 3 game? It was Touring Car Championship. Is that what that was? Yeah. Man.
Horizon Chase Turbo.
Oh yeah. That is an outrun type.
It's an outrun type, but it doesn't hit the same sweet spot as the.
Yeah. And see, the
Outruns.
thing about
There are no outruns available on the that you can play on the current Xboxes.
No, and Outrun 2 is not backward compatible as far as I know.
Yeah, what a shame. What a shame.
I know that needs to be fixed. Road Blasters was good. Oh, Ham Solo does interviews with people all over the world. Would love to get him on a yes, dude. I'm telling you, this is one of my brothers in Sega. You know. Oh no. Oh, look at his
So when you
face.
say blue car was at the wrong place in the last turn, do you
Yep.
memorize the
My one mistake is coming. Don't watch blues in the wrong place in the last turn. Yep, Charlie, that's why I've got hold on. See, I gotta go get it. This is the point where Myke gets up from his chair. This is a phenomenal game. And
just play it by what's that doohickey again?
Yes, this looks so good with the M Classic. In fact,
M Classic, yes.
Hold on, because we're gonna.
Hey, didn't you do the video?
I did.
It was Outrun, right?
It was.
Woo.
Marseille M Classic. Marseille M Classic. Where are my? Hang on, because I had Myke's Retro Collection, Myke Systems, Myke's Rally Racing, Sega M Classic. I think this is it. Yep, this is because it started with Destroy All Humans. So let me get to the outrun part. And by the way, this is what 60 FPS versus 30 is. Hold on. But even like here it is. So this is Outrun 2 at the native Xbox 480p. And then I flip on the M Classic, and I'll tell you what, man, the M Classic does an incredible number on Xbox, OG Xbox games. But look at how just beautiful and smooth this game is. This could pass for an Xbox One game. But now watch, right about here. Gonna turn on the M Classic, and it cleans the whole image up and puts it in 1080p. But look how just utterly freaking smooth. Tell me, don't get me wrong. Marceau, any day of the week, if you had your choice, this is how you'd play Outrun, right? If the Genesis offered this, yeah, this looks totally clean. But look how detailed it is. I mean, this was how Sega let this IP go like this. I mean, look at this.
Yeah, it's a crime.
I love this game. I love this game so much. I want to marry this game. I cheat on my wife with this game.
Yeah.
And here's another. So this is 480p. And then I'm going to switch it over to 1080p with the M Classic. So if people don't know what an M Classic is, the M Classic is It's literally a device that goes between your console and the TV, and it upscales HDMI, and it's an HDMI device. It upscales up to 1080p. It does anti-aliasing. It does image cleanup. So that's what makes this game looks. I mean, this looks like you could play this on an Xbox One or a PS4 or 5. See, Marceau says he's married to his Outright cartridge. So, I mean, it's just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But this is Outrun at its best, in my opinion. And the original Outrun arcade is on this as an unlockable.
Oh, is it?
Yep. I have to go back and look at a older. I streamed this last month, and I need to go back and look because was it you back? No, Hasslehoff put the code in for unlocking it.
Oh, cool. I need to check it out.
The RetroTink 5X with the M Classic together would look incredible. I mean, it would just clean up the image so much. To be fair, Outrun isn't about to hold a candle to Forza or Horizon or GT series. That's just why they fault. But yeah, but see, it's two different games. So Outrun is a point-to-point arcade racer.
You know, it's almost like currently where you have those runner games. You know, also like a mobile where you know, you have to avoid the obstacles left and right.
Yes. So I'm gonna run the arcade seriously soon, but right now I'm working on getting times good enough to be able to submit to GDQ. Games done quick. Yeah, I can't compare. I can't compare those. And honestly, there's room for it. There's room for all of that.
Yeah, because probably the closest game you might be able to compare it to is like Cruising USA or any of that entire series.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I played Outrun a lot on a Commodore 64.
Hmm. I don't know, Boogie. I would own them both. You know? And even though I play the hell out of Forza, I still go back and play this. So, oh yeah, Virtual Racing on Switch is a great port. Saturn version of that game is really good. So but I think we got away from the 30 versus 60 FPS discussion. So,
Just a little bit. We derailed it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to get back to that, I mean, it really depends what you're playing, which is better, 30 FPS or 60 FPS. Just the option to pick between them, then you can decide for yourself which you prefer in any game would be better. I mean, it'd be nice if we got to a point where consoles had the options like PCs, but game developers just like to have single profiles optimized for the console on that side. Even though some developers will put it in there where you have a few more options where you turn off certain like film grain, motion blur, certain settings that'll change the picture a bit, depending on how you really like to fine tune how it looks. And even a little bit like they did this for Destiny 2 when they updated it for the current gen consoles. they went from 30 to 60 FPS, and you could tell the difference in how the gunplay works. It's a little bit cleaner and a little bit sharper, but more so than the FPS being boosted, it was actually a bigger change when you went from, I think it's either 65 or 85 field of view to 105. So like games like that, even when FPS will help them, if you can pull back the world and show more of it, there's other features like field of view that can make an even greater impact.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. All right. Well, it's now 12:26.
All right.
We are approaching the 3-hour mark. And,
And there's Spirit Plug.
And there's Parent Pluck.
There you go.
Pluck is
Hey,
returned.
Parent Pluck.
The Pluck is back. What's going on? Yes, Relic says definitely need a new F-Zero. Oh.
We also need a new Metroid Prime 4 needs to come out already, but still waiting for that.
Mm-hmm. Ah. All right.
Doesn't the Sega Genesis Mini 2 have Outrun on it? Yes, Outrunners.
There you go.
I should pick one up.
Oh, De Niro said, I see Activision Blizzard's on topic tonight. What happened now? Oh, oh, he's not in Twitter anymore. So we back up when we roll out. We did a lot of talk about the Microsoft responded to the CMA and just obliterated Sony. So Saboteur, what's going on, man? Caught us at the end, but that's okay. So, I think we've run through everything. Next, you know what? Next week we can do, some games we're looking forward to, because I really would like Chris here for that too, and I know Chris is under the weather, so I want to make sure he's here to kind of talk with us as well. But I think I'm going to start getting us out of here. Want to thank the chat, of course, for hanging out. Sorry that the unfortunate ones had to make their best attempt to ruin the chat, but all of the people that hang out with us, Peter, are all subscribers. So
wow, that's nice.
Maybe subscriber mode is just what we do.
Yeah, I've definitely seen that a lot more. Even for certain Twitch streamers, they'll do it just to cut down on people doing hate raids or racism or anything in their chats. So yeah, that's becoming more prevalent as more time goes on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but hey, Marceau, my pleasure, man. The story of me and Marceau, I'll just say, because he talked about me in a video as well. It started off a little rocky, right? Because obviously, the Amico content stuff is there's just some bizarre ass people out there, and so I'm gonna give this story. Marceau had made a video about a few of us who cover it, who talk about it, and I kind of mistook his video for for something that was going at the time. That people were going hard and heavy on people like me, people like DJC Game Studios, Geeks with Cash, Retro Advisory Board, and I was having a bad day, and kind of overreacted to Marceau, and somehow I think Marceau, you dropped into one of our streams and kind of said hi, hung out a little bit, and then actually played Turtles Shredder's Revenge with us, and I just started to talk to Marceau more, started to look at his channel a bit more, saw the great videos he does, and we started to talk, and I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that I had misread some of that, and it's just I'm glad that you're here, Marceau, and I'm glad I could show people, the great channel you have. So, yeah, there's just too many people who like to cause drama. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You used the profanity, Boogie. That's why nobody could see it on screen. Again, I expect this. It's the internet. People can talk, without being at arm's length of you. So people can say what they want without, being held accountable for it. You can either, wither away from it and let online bullies beat you, or you just keep going. And everybody who comes to NLG is part of our gaming family. They're all people who don't engage in all this nonsense. And as you see, the live chat, we have great live chat. I never have to worry about our live chat. So, hey, Sai, what's up, brother? So I just want to say I wish you all good luck. We're all counting. We're all counting on you. I love Airplane. So at least it's not because I invoked the name of Zuckerberg this time. So yeah, it's very simple. You can't. We are a multi-platform channel. We just covered. I talked about the Amico, but we just covered Activision, Blizzard, Xbox. We just covered Gotham Knights. We cover everything, and I've got Atari VCS videos up on the site. I'm actually going to be working on getting my Atari VCS videos back in play. Peter's got some streaming coming up, right?
Yes.
For a certain game with Boy coming up.
That, as well as Call of Duty campaign.
Mm-hmm. And
maybe towards the end of the week, actually.
Ooh. Chris has got stuff that he's working on. So we celebrate gaming here. And
We do.
I'm happy with that. I'm overtly happy with that. Will you be able to do videos showing your test, Amico? I don't know yet. I again, and I'll hold it up, Salvatore, because you weren't here earlier. I was able to kind of give a little up close on it, up close on the controller. I can't show any gameplay yet because I am testing it. So, but everybody knows that I got it, so it's safe. Salvatore, if you missed it, and if you want to go back, I did cover this stuff, but and screw watermarks. Hey, no problem, brother. Anytime you guys come in is welcome. I'll let you guys know real quick. The store works. The RFID scanner works. I'm having fun with it. My kids are having fun with it. It makes everything being said about me online and all the vitriol and all the hate and all the the attacks that don't mean anything to me in my real life, it makes all of that moot. It just does. So, yeah, there are a lot of questionable people having criticism about Amico, trying to say this as politely, as respectful as I can. Yeah. So, well, see, Boogie, you are within driving distance, as is Peter. So,
yeah.
if you just happen to pass by my house and look in the back door, you can
Ding
catch
dong.
you can catch a little. Oh, I didn't know you were coming over, Peter. Well, you've already seen it, so why don't I just let you play it?
Yeah.
So,
Hey, the remote is not working. Oh, what's this?
Oh, I can't turn it off. I guess we're gonna have to play something.
Yeah.
So, that's true. You can't drive at a moment. But, so anyway, there's when we're allowed, then of course we will. So anyway, I think that's gonna call it for us. I'm gonna get us out of here with 3 minutes to go on this 3-hour tour. So
3
Back,
more minutes. Yeah.
brother, Back, always a pleasure to have you with us, man. And where can everybody find you?
Yeah, again, thanks for having me on. It's always a great time when I get talking games with you guys. If you want to find any of my reviews, Destiny 2 guides, or see me live stream, my edited content's on YouTube, Twitch, I'll live stream on there occasionally. You can also find me on Twitter at BACfromthedead1. You can find me on Xbox and PlayStation at BACfromthedead1.
Very nice.
Very nice. Peter, how about you, brother?
Well, you can find me here every Tuesday, 9:30. But otherwise, you can find me on Twitter, HTK360, and find me on Xbox, gamertag HTK, PlayStation, HTK360. I don't know about Switch. I think you can find it by names too. It's also HTK360 or whatever. But yeah, Steam, HTK360.
All right. And, of course, you can
My
find
party's
me.
always open, so feel free to join.
Mm-hmm. And you can find me at NLG Mullis, as well as our official Twitter account is OG_NL Gaming. On Xbox, it is Stinger NLG, and on PlayStation, it is the original NLG. I would tell you where I am on the OG Xbox, but unfortunately, you can't find me there because there's no real Xbox there. So
Such a shame.
yeah. So no one on Switch has committed to memory their friend code.
Don't they have QR codes now?
Oh, is that how they're doing
I
it?
think so.
Is that how they're doing it?
It's any easier. Like, oh, let me pencil one for you.
Mm. So you'll find me on Switch with the friend code when hell freezes over. So show is over. Time for some Rocket League. There you go. Salvatore might have to get some Rocket League in with you one night. So, but anyway, thank you, everybody. Thank you all who have entered the chat. Thank you, everybody who hung out with us tonight. Thank you for everybody who came in either early, even came in late, came in the last few minutes. Parent Pluck, great to see you again, brother. Hertog, also from overseas, thank you for hanging out. And of course, all of our great friends and family here. Thank you guys so much. You guys really do make us who we are. And hey, Ham Solo, don't be a stranger, brother. I'm glad you're able to hang out with us. It's been too long. And, maybe one day, maybe one Tuesday night, we interview you. Let's talk. Thank you guys. Don't forget about the great Gamers United channel, Gamers United Guild channels that are down below in the description. Tomorrow we have a triple header of great shows. We've got Spooky, the Breathtaking Gamer, and GoGameGo tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Then we have Amico Forever with DJC Game Studios, Retro Advisory Board, and Geeks with Cash. So every once in a while I pop on there, but I think I'm going to let them have that since I was on last week. And then Thursday is 4GQ TV. Friday is the Iconic Video Games Podcast. Saturday is the Evercast and the Dragon's Den. And I don't know what happened to Lemon. Lemon said he was going to come crash the stream. I told him he'd come in, but I never heard back from him. And then on Sunday is Good Morning Xbox in the morning and TXR in the evening. Mondays is Astro Smash with DJC Game Studios, and then we are back after Retro Renegades, our brothers, at 7 p.m., and then we are back at 9:30 p.m. next Tuesday night for another great episode of the NLG Show. Thank you, everybody. Peter, back. Thank you, guys. We love you. Great show. We'll see you later. Play on, gamers.
Game on, guys.
Have a great night, everyone.